What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another CZN video. If you guys watched my last CZN video, I did talk about, I guess I showcased the 0 card deck, as you can see here. Now, this deck is extremely powerful if you use it in the right combinations with units, because essentially you're only drawing through your other two characters' cards, and if you have a really good deck on both those characters, such as, Veronica or like a Yuki, which I showcased in my last video, it can be really crazy and also very fun to play. They just cycle into their own cards over and over. You can shuffle, you can do a lot of things. You can also use like a Nia, it's very powerful. A lot of fun combinations, Rin, Renoa. It's pretty much endless. And I'm going to be talking about how you guys can actually craft your own 0 card deck. Now, I will say it is going to be a bit time consuming, but not as much as you'd think. It took me about 2 hours, which might seem like a lot of time. But if you think about it, when you're building a deck for your other characters, the runs that you do for Chaos, they can take like an hour, probably even more, honestly. And a lot of the times you don't end up with a deck that you're satisfied with, right? So on average, I'd say it probably takes about 2 or 3 runs to get a good deck for a character. If you're looking for like a god tier deck, it can take even longer. Well, this only takes about 2 hours. At least it took me only 2 hours to do it. And I've heard other people, it only took about like an hour to 90 minutes. So you can make this really good deck. I guess not really a deck because there's nothing in it, but a really good save data to actually, amplify your other two characters, which is going to be the reason why you make this deck. So the way you want to do it, it's pretty complicated. So I'm going to try to explain it the best I can. But the area of content you want to farm it in is going to be the event seasonal Chaos World. Now, the reason why you want to farm it here is because when you fail the run, or if you leave early, it saves the save data value in like all the affixes. So this makes it so that you can keep retrying, whereas if you did it in 0 system, you'll actually have to use a lot of Chaos Orbs and units, which is not worth it. And it's just like 1,000 times harder. So you want to do it in this event world. And the plus side is you'll be able to get that tag on your save data for the season. So you'll be able to use it for the entirety of the season. You can see I have that, I forget what the season's called, Forbidden Catalyst tag here, right? So that makes it so I can use it for the entire season. So you want to do it here. And what you want to do is aim to look for a save data value. So you're going to want to reobserve and reroll of tier 14 or higher. Now, the reason why you want tier 14 is because you will have 4 cards that you start with, and you want to get rid of all 4 of these cards. And tier 14 is actually the perfect amount according to the calculations in game to reach the faint memory cap without going over. You're gonna see that my save data actually is at 100 points. I don't know why it's at 100. It should be 160 after the calculations from the calculators and also even from their save data rules. But I don't really understand why it's at 100. Not really too sure. But basically what we're doing is we're going to be removing 3 cards, and then we're going to be converting 1 card and removing it so that it's cheaper. And the reason why you want to do this is because that will get you to 160 points. If it's easier to visualize, I'll show it on the calculator here. So you can see we have Owen. We're going to be looking at the left here. So what you're going to want to do is remove 2 cards. So you're going to remove a base card. You're going to remove another base card. And then you're going to remove another base card, right? So you remove 3 cards here, and then the last card you want to convert and then remove it. So then it's not a base card, it'll end up being a neutral or monster card. So you can see I'm at 160 points. So if I reset it, right, and we just do 4 removals from the base cards, it'll go even higher, and this will go to 170. So you're probably thinking, oh, can't I just do level 15? Well, the thing is, when you're rolling on the Chaos Worlds, you can't actually get to 15. You can only get to 14, which makes it so that you can't do that strategy, right? And you can roll into 14 here, and then what you can end up doing is if you go to Nightmare, you'll see, oh, it goes to 15. However, you do not want to do Nightmare. The reason why you don't want to do Nightmare is because you will get more latent epiphanies, and latent epiphanies will break your run on the character that you are trying to remove all the cards for. So that is why you don't do Nightmare. You want to just hunt for that save data value 14. You can just keep reobserving and rerolling. I think it took me like 4,000 currency. I've heard people say it takes on average like 2,000, 3,000-ish. So I got pretty unlucky. So what you want to do is just reroll it. And what I recommend is doing it on difficulty 9. The reason why you don't want to do it on 8, even though it can show up on 8, is because 8 is the world where you're going to farm most of your save data, which I'll talk about in a separate video why. So because of that, you don't want to do it on 8, you want to do it on 9, because if you ever get tired of hunting for that deck, you can just take a break and this will save. So that is why you want to do it on difficulty 9. The affixes that you get don't really matter too much, mostly because you aren't going to really fight a lot of stages, because the strategy is to not fight a lot, but that is basically what you want to do. Now, the goal of this is to go into this run on level 14 on normal, and you want to bring 2 carries and then the character that you want to build that deck for. So I found Hugo Tressa to be very good. It can be whatever 2 DPS. I think you want to bring a main DPS and a sub DPS. Bringing a healer is okay as well, but it makes it a bit longer. And because you'll be resetting quite a bit, not really recommended. On top of that, the character that you're bringing to actually remove their cards, it doesn't really matter what character it is. However, you want to make sure that they're about like level 40 so that you can win every single time consistently. Also, you want to make sure you have memory fragments on, just because, you know, you want extra stats. I just literally have random stuff on. You can see I have void damage on my Owen, but it's mostly just for the stats. And then for the potential, you want to make sure you have nothing upgraded. The reason why is because this way, when Owen loads into the, or whatever character you're using, loads into the event Chaos World, you won't start with a latent epiphany. If you have potentials activated, this potential here, you'll see that when you enter Chaos, you'll obtain 1 random rare card with an activated epiphany. And you don't want that, because if you activate one of these epiphany cards, the run is bricked. So that's why you need a character with no potentials activated. So that is what you are going to want to do to set it up. Now the goal is to get to the first checkpoint with 0 cards and then leave. This is the first point where you can actually keep your save data, and there's going to be like a step-by-step process, which I'll talk about right now, and kind of like a checklist in a way. So the first thing you want to do is hunt for 2 remove cards from the Divine Messenger. There's 2 of them. There's one that'll increase your team stress by 20 and you remove 2 cards, and then there's one that will decrease your health by 30%, I believe. And then what you want to do is do this and then remove 2 basic cards off of the character that you want to make that 0 card deck for. This is very important because you just need to burn through 4 cards, right? It's very hard to do it without this, and this is pretty much required. You will want to restart until you get this Divine Messenger, I guess, thing where it allows you to remove 2 cards. The next thing you want to do is look for a mutant sample. So this mutant sample event will convert a card into the mutant sample. And the mutant sample will automatically remove if you leave the run after the first checkpoint. The reason why you want to wait for the first checkpoint is because this is the first area where you can actually leave and keep your save data. If you leave beforehand, you don't keep your deck at all, no matter what. So you want to look for this mutant sample before the checkpoint or shortly after, right before the next battle after the checkpoint. And you don't want to remove it manually, it just automatically removes. The next thing is you want to remove a card. The easiest way to do this is from a shop before the checkpoint or very shortly after. Otherwise, you will need to do it from an event. So you're removing 2 cards from the Divine Messenger, you're converting 1 card to mutant sample, so that's 3, and then you're removing another card, the last and 4th card, from a shop or an event. Now, if you do get a latent epiphany on the character you're trying to make this deck for, you're going to want to restart, because if you remove the latent epiphany, you go over the cap. And if you keep it, you'll end up with a 1 card deck. And you'll see on my own here, I actually tried this a ton of times, and yeah, you'll see I do have some 1 card decks, right? Because it's just failed runs. It's because of the latent epiphany, and if I tried to remove it, it just added a card back in. So you want to make sure that you are not getting any latent epiphany. So if you do get one on that character you're trying to do this for, you're going to want to reset. The next thing I recommend is avoid as many battles as you can. You want to avoid latent epiphanies, which will activate off of battles. So 3 battles is ideal for the entire run. 4 is okay. If it's 5 before the first checkpoint, no matter how you path, you might want to reset, because the chance of you not getting a latent epiphany on that character is very, very low, although it is possible. Now you want to also hit as many event nodes as possible to try to get that mutant sample. It appears more in the bottom half of the map from my experience, but it's not confirmed. So, you know, that's what you're going to want to do. So I'll show you guys a sample run. I'm not going to actually play through the entire thing, but I'll show you guys, I guess, the pathing that I would take and the start. So you load in, you're going to just keep refreshing this Divine Messenger. Hopefully get it right now so I don't have to reset, but you want to look for that remove 2 cards thing. So you can see here, I don't have it at all. So you would just keep resetting until you get it. And I'm not gonna edit it out, but I'll show you because this is gonna confuse a lot of people. But there's like a bug right now if you leave like this, right? And I actually go load back in, you'll see that on level 9, it went from save data value 14 to 11. It's really weird, right? But what you want to do is don't go back in right away. You want to go to 8 here or whatever you want, or leave the menu, and then go back, and it refreshes back to what you had previously. Why? I don't know. Is it a bug? I don't really think so. Well, I guess it is a bug, but I'm pretty sure it's just like, you know, an error in some coding, but you need to like click off and click back in, and then you get back that world you re-observed. So don't worry if it, you know, disappears, because that is what happens, at least for me. So maybe it won't happen for you. Maybe it's my account being bugged, but you want to do that when you're resetting. Otherwise, yeah, you're going to go into a lower level and then it's going to screw up everything. So you want to make sure you do that. So you can see here, I get select and remove 1 card. You don't want to do this. You want to hunt for the 2 card. So I finally did get it. You can see it is the 3rd one, begin atonement, all combatant stress, 20 increase, select and remove 2 cards. So you will select this, and because I'm doing Owen, what I would do is just remove 2 of his cards. Doesn't really matter too much. I guess, you know, keeping a downward cut is a little bit better for extra damage, but you want to remove 2 of his cards, and there will be 2 left. And those remaining 2, you will remove 1 from a shop or an event if you have to. And then the last one, you'll have to hunt for that mutant sample. And the mutant sample is the hardest part. The 2 hardest parts are, you know, finding that mutant sample and also not getting a latent epiphany. And trying to get both of them to happen in the same run is very difficult. So what you want to do when you load in is actually check your map. So you want to see where the checkpoint is, and you want to see what pathing you could take to get there with the least amount of battles. So for this run specifically, the best route to actually take would be either through this top one here or the bottom one, because I could get to the checkpoint with about 4 battles. However, the bad thing about this is there is no shop, and even though, you know, you can go to a shop a little bit later, you want to make sure there's no more battles. So you can see I actually can do it. So I can get to this checkpoint here, and then I could go to this event here, right? And then I could go to this rest area here, and then you can go to this event here, then you can go to this rest area here, then this event here, and basically the second half, there's no battles. Actually, there's 1 battle. So, you know, I could do 1 battle after their checkpoint and then get to the shop. Is it worth it? It's a lot of time. What I would end up doing is just resetting until you have a shop that is before the checkpoint or a little bit after. But if you want to risk it for the biscuit, although the chances of it succeeding is very low because you'll have like 6 battles total, then you could try to make it to this last shop. But I would just end up resetting and just, you know, starting a new run. And of course, just looking for that remove 2 again and trying to get a better map. But there are some situations where you'll get a really good map and you'll just want to play it. So I did find one that does have a good map. I actually didn't get the one to remove 2 cards because I was just trying to find a good map reference or example. This one's a very good one because if you go to the bottom here, you'll see there's 1 battle, there's a rest point, an event, 2nd battle, another event, 3rd battle, another event after the rest point again. You'll get to the checkpoint. So this is where you can start leaving the run. Then you have another event to hit to potentially get that mutant sample if you didn't hit it by this point. Then you have a shop to remove that extra card. Then you have 2 more events to hit that mutant sample again. So all in all, you have that shop, you have 3, 4, 5, 6 events, which is very good. And you also only have 3 battles you have to do. So this is a very, very good chance you might get it. Of course, if you get bad RNG, then you might hit that latent epiphany or you might not get that mutant sample. But this is an example of a good map that you can try to test and not test, but try to get that 0 card deck for. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video though, guys. This setup is really fun. I recommend trying it. If you guys don't want to waste too much time to build it, of course, it's up to you. But I found that this paired with just double DPSs or a DPS plus a sub DPS like Veronica is absolutely crazy. And if you do like enjoying Yuki, this setup is super, super strong right now. So yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next video.